What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Carolina Auto Direct and we get to take a look at the 2021 Ford Bronco First Edition with the Sasquatch package. So huge shout out to them for providing this SUV for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website because they have a ton of awesome pre-owned inventory. All the info is down in the description. But the Bronco that you see behind me is finished off in cyber orange and it has a base MSRP right around $60,000. So we're gonna start off today's review with what powers this Bronco. So there's two different engine options. This model here has the 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6 engine paired with the 10-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 310 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque. This is rear-wheel drive with the four-wheel drive system, weighs in right around 5,000 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in the mid to low 6-second range up to its top speed of 130 miles an hour. And it has a fuel capacity of 20.8 gallons. You can expect to see around 20 miles per gallon in the city and 22 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 100.4 inches. Its overall length is 173.7. It has a width of 75.9, a height of 73 inches. Its maximum ground clearance is 11.6 inches. And this also has an approach angle of 43.2 degrees, a breakover angle of 29 degrees, a departure angle of 37 degrees, and its water fording depth is 33.5 inches. As we work our way to the exterior now for this first edition Bronco, let's start off with the vinyl that you see on both sides of the hood. So we have matte black and silver. This is a part of the first edition, so it's the only model that you'll see them on, and I think it gives it a little bit of flair. Definitely has a great look to it. You'll see on the back side of the hood, this does have a slight bulge to it just to give it more of an aggressive look. And on each side of the hood, you can see these accessory ready points. We have them down below as well as up on the top of the windshield. So you can attach cables to them if you'd like to. You can actually use these if you're going off-road. It will hit all of the branches so that way they can keep them off of the windshield and the hood. But as we work our way to the front now, you can see Bronco is spelled out in white letters right across the gloss black grille. You can see there's plenty of cutouts to provide maximum cooling to this engine. And we also have the integrated trail camera, so you can see that up front, as well as all the parking sensors to give you some better visibility while you're off-roading. This also has the LED package, so you can see the LED DRLs in a nice circular design around the headlights and the high beams. And we have the LED turn signal running right through the middle. You can also see a small Bronco logo, and it's really nice how that's incorporated into the grille. Just gives it a really nice clean design running throughout the front. You'll see the bull bar on the top of the steel bumper, and there's also a lot of bolts here that you can remove if needed. So you can remove all of these if you want a little bit more clearance. This is a pretty high clearance bumper already. You can see the cutouts, so you can see the Bilstien suspension as well as most of the front tire. And we even have active grille shutters right in the middle, so those will help improve with aerodynamics. You'll see the lower skid plate as well as some tow hooks up front. It definitely gives it a really beefy design. And as we work our way to the side now, we have the Sasquatch package, which gives us these 35-inch tires with a 17-inch wheel. You can see they're finished off in gloss black with the Bronco logo right in the middle. This also has the high clearance fender flares. You can see how much they stick out, covering that tire, giving it a really nice look. This also has the factory rock sliders down below. You can see more of that same graphic on the lower side of the door, as well as the first edition Sasquatch badge. We have the gloss black side mirrors. They also feature a spotlight and a camera, and I'll show that camera system later on in today's video. You have two different options for the roof, the soft top or the hard top. So of course this is the hard top. I'll show those panels here soon. Have a really nice side proportional design being the two-door model. Definitely has a great look to it. Really clean lines running just above the door handles there. And then as we work our way to the rear, you can see the full-size spare with the integrated backup camera right in the middle. We have the Bronco logo on the right side. This also has LED taillights that have a really nice design to them. The only Ford badge is located on the left side of that tire. We have the steel rear bumper with all the parking sensors, the tow hooks on both sides, and this has a maximum towing capacity of 3,500 pounds. So that's a look at the exterior for the two-door Bronco. We also have the gas cap located on the driver's side. All you need to do is push on this and that will automatically open up there. So we have a really nice exterior design, but now it's time to move on to the interior. Before we do that, this does have remote start. So if I double tap this button right in the middle there, this will fire up. Really nice feature to have, especially in the colder weather. If you double tap on that button, you can shut the vehicle off if you need to. And with the first edition, we even get the keypad right above the door handle, so you can use this to lock and unlock the vehicle instead of using the key fob if you need to. And now that we're looking at the door panel here, you'll see we have more of that cyber orange trim just underneath the release handle. Lock and unlock is above there too. Really nice grab handle design. There's also a net down in the lower section, so if you need to place any items there, you can. And these doors are removable, which is really cool for the Ford Bronco, so you can take these off along with the roof if you'd like to. And then as we work our way to the interior now, you can see the black leather seats with silver stitching. The Bronco logo is front and center. These are heated seats as well, have a really nice design to them along with the bolsters. And we do have the manual adjustment to slide the seat forwards and backwards in the front. And then on the side, you can see the lumbar as well as the height adjustment. And then the recline and incline is just behind that. As we work our way to the interior now for this Bronco, one thing that I do want to point out, on the lower section of the door, you can see lift is spelled out. This is an extra grab handle, so when you do go to remove this door, you have another area to hold on to the door, which is great to see. But working our way to the interior now, with these 35s, we do have a pretty high door sill here, but there is a grab handle on the left side of the steering wheel. You can see Bronco is spelled out. So just by grabbing on that, we can easily hop up into this vehicle and then grab the grab handle there to shut the door. And then looking at the steering wheel, you'll see it's completely covered in solid black leather with really nice trim surrounding all these controls on both sides. You can see Bronco right in the middle. But let's go ahead and start this up. So with my foot on the brake, we have that button located on the right side, and we can bring this to life. And looking at this gauge cluster, you'll see over on the left side is the miles per hour as well as the engine temperature. And then front and center, we have a very large LCD screen where you can go through a lot of information using these buttons over on the right side of the steering wheel. You can see there's some arrows along with OK and a back button. We also have tuning for the radio, Bluetooth and voice commands, and these three lines right here are for the main menu, which I'll go over. But the way it sits right now, you can see the fuel gauge along with miles per hour and your tach. If I push on one of these arrows now, you can see over on the right side, we can pull up the calm screen, so that shows no information. You can look at the fuel economy. You can also pull up your trip information as well as some off-road settings. So you can look at pitch and roll as well as the degrees for the steering wheel, so that way you know exactly where they're pointing. You can also look at your tire pressure, and then the last screen here is configurable. So just by going into this, you can set it up based on what you use the most, being able to pull up basically everything that I just went over. So you can set this to what you'd like to see the most, which is really great to see. And then just by pushing on those three lines that I showed earlier, you can pull up the main menu. So you can go into My View, which is basically going over everything I just talked about with configuring it. You can look at your trip, your off-road. You can even pull up the navigation and those various settings, so you can go through all of that. You can also look at your phone and audio and then go into any setting. So you can change your miles per hour to kilometers per hour if you'd like to, look at your tow and oil life. So there's a lot of information front and center, which is great to see. And then working our way to the left side of the steering wheel, you can see all of the cruise and adaptive cruise controls along with volume for the radio. And then over on the left side of the steering wheel, down below, we have the electronic parking brake along with all the headlight adjustments. These two buttons over on the left side is how you control the spotlights for the side mirrors. We also have some dimmer switches for the gauges. You can see up on the dash, we have one of the speakers for the Bang & Olufsen sound system, and there's a little bit of storage space where you could put some smaller items like your phone. You could even charge them if you'd like to with the USB and USB-C that are located up front. You'll see another speaker in the middle, and then we have these dials right here. So starting on the left side, we have the sway bar disconnect along with the front locker. We have the rear locker. We also have what's called trail turn assist. This is a really cool feature that will actually lock the inner wheel so you can turn sharper. Really cool feature, especially if you're in some tighter situations. We have traction control and then the hazards. And then below that, we have the 12-inch screen. There's a lot of information you can go through on the screen. Down below are all the presets. So right now you can see audio. We can go into phone when you have that paired. You can also pull up the navigation. There's different apps that you can go into. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can use those as needed. You can also go into the settings, go into vehicle, general, you have your display, everything that you'd like to set up, your valet mode, you can go through all of that. There's different features too for your driver assistance. You can even go into the zone lighting. And what's neat about this is if you're taking this off-road or you're camping, you can turn all of these lights on. So you don't have to go grab a flashlight. You can turn on the mirrors, the headlights, the taillights as spotlights. Really cool to be able to see that, which is a great option. And then over on this far right side, you have everything that I just went over where you can look at it on the side. So if you're looking at something over on this left side like navigation, you can pull up your audio, go into your off-road status, fuel economy. You can look at all of this information. Over on the passenger side, you'll see Bronco spelled out in the airbag cover here with more of that dark trim, matching the trim on the steering wheel. And then working our way below the screen, you'll see we have power and volume for the radio as well as tuning. We have a shortcut to the camera system. I'll go ahead and pull that up right now. where you can see the top-down view on the right side. We currently have the forward-facing camera over on the left side. If I push on these arrows here, now you can see a full screen for the forward-facing angle, and then we have a wider angle. You can actually see this car currently over there in the far right corner. My brother's currently reviewing another vehicle, so you can see that just by pulling up that camera system. If I put the vehicle into reverse now, we have those same angles, where if I push on this again, now we have the full screen, the wide screen there. If I go back over here and push on this plus, now we have a downward facing angle. So if you're backing up to a trailer, even in a tight parking spot, you can adjust that backup camera. So that's great to see. You'll also notice we have the engine start stop feature, as well as the parking sensors, which you can turn on and off. Some more tuning and play and pause for the audio. And then below that, we have all the climate controls. So this does have dual zone. You have temperature for driver and passenger. You can shut it off just by pushing on that dial. So it's nice to see the multifunction use there. You have fan speed right in the center. We do have a heated steering wheel. You have the heated seat controls, along with all the other AC adjustments. So it's really nicely laid out. And then below that, you'll see we have a wireless charging pad right in the middle. You can also see a USB and a USB-C port. We have the First Edition logo over on that right side. Another grab handle for your passenger, so if you're taking this off-road and higher speed situations, which I have been able to do, you have a great area to hold on to. You'll see two cup holders. We have the shifter right in the middle, finished off in leather. You have plus and minus, so you can control the gears if you'd like to. And then behind that, we have the GOAT modes, as well as all the four-wheel drive settings. So you can see 2 high, 4 low. We have the trail control right in the middle. That's basically cruise control for off-road. And then we have the GOAT modes just by twisting on this dial. So if I start over on the left side, you'll see normal. I can go over into eco mode. You'll also see slippery. We also have mud and ruts. Some of these you can only use in 4-wheel drive, of course. Just like sand mode, you do have to be in 4-wheel drive, so it will automatically do that going into that mode. You'll also see Baja, and the last one is Rock Crawl. You'll see right in the middle, we have the window controls along with the side mirror adjustments, and we do have a lockable center armrest here. You'll see there's a lot of room along with a removable tray if you need to get that out of the way. And then over on the passenger side, we have the glove box. Plenty of room for all of that information. We'll take one last look at these seats. And like I mentioned earlier, we have the 3-piece hardtop. It's really easy to take these 2 front panels off. We have 4 individual areas that you need to release. So we have 2 up front here. There's also 2 in the back, same with the other side. You'll take the driver panel off first, and then you can remove the passenger panel, and you can get that open top experience without having to take the rest of the roof off. Really cool option to have. You'll also see there's more padding here just to make it a little bit more insulated and quieter while you're out on the road. And then up in the middle, we have all these factory auxiliary switches. Really neat to see. So if you're hooking up lights, compressors, any off-road equipment like that, you have a factory location to turn them on and off. Pretty awesome to see that. And you'll see the dome lights are just in front of that. Now it's time to take a look at the back seats for this 2-door Bronco. So to get back there, all I need to do is pull on this release on the backrest for the seat. I already went ahead and moved this forward just a little bit, so that way I can easily hop into the back. And at 5'10", it's a little bit tight, but once I'm back here, I'll go ahead and put this back. Now, like I said, I do have that seat all the way forwards, but even if I had it back like here, I'd have plenty of room for my feet, so that's great to see. You have a little bit of storage behind both front seats too. And at 5'10", I have around 3 or 4 inches above my head. So there's a lot of space back here, even for this being the 2-door model. Very functional for full-size adults. You have a really large side window there, so it provides a lot of light. You can see we have a speaker up on the roll bar, along with some dome lights right in the middle. And then on each side, we do have a cup holder, so you can place drinks back here. Right in the middle, you can see a Bronco logo. We also have a USB and USB-C, and then a 3-prong outlet on the right side. So that way you can charge electronics from the back seats too, which is really nice to see. These are also really comfortable seats too. I like the 2-tone design. I forgot to mention that earlier. And you can also fold these seats down. So on the bottom here, all you have to do is pull on this tab. You can flip this bottom up, and then from there, you can pull on this tab here and fold the rest of the seat down. Really nice to have that option. You can do it on both sides. If you need a little bit of extra space, makes it very versatile for this 2-door vehicle. And last up, it's time to take a look at the rear storage area. So we have that grab handle on the left side of the tire here. You can also lock and unlock the vehicle, so that makes it very convenient. And we have a pretty lightweight liftgate, even with the full-size spare. We have a shock on the bottom there just to help you. And then from there, we can also open up this rear glass, so that way you have better access to the back area. You can see with the back seats up too, we have a little bit of storage. There's some tie-down hooks on all 4 corners. You can see a lasso right there as well. So you can put in some items here if you need to. And also up underneath the floor, you can see the jack, along with a little bit of storage up front. You can see there's a drain plug there, so you can put in some wet items there if you need to. So definitely pretty practical for this 2-door vehicle. And then we can easily close the glass and swing this shut. So as we get this 2021 Ford Bronco out on the road, I've reviewed several Broncos this year. I even went out to Texas to do the Ford Bronco off-rodeo, so I have a lot of seat time behind the wheel of the Bronco. This is actually the first 2-door that I've been behind the wheel of, and it's the first time I've been able to take the roof off. So I wanted to do that so you guys could see what it's like. Wind noise is really not all that bad. It's very comfortable, even on a windy, cold day like it is right now. I have the heated seats and the heated steering wheel on, so it is very comfortable. As you can tell with the 2-door, the roof panels take up the entire back area there. So if you are taking them with you, that's pretty much your storage area right there. But you can leave them at home, of course, if you know it's not going to rain. If you want to gamble, it's very enjoyable. You can just see the top of my head there catching some of the wind, but it's very composed in the cab area here. So I really like that. But from experience, getting to see around 15 to 20 Broncos off-road, there were some 2-doors out there, and I'm pretty impressed with not only the maneuverability of the 2-door, since we have the shorter wheelbase, but with the Sasquatch package here, the 35-inch tires, I don't think you're ever going to get stuck. With the shorter wheelbase, the amount of ground clearance that we have, this is a very, very capable vehicle right off the factory lot. So it's awesome to see that we have all these goodies here, the sway bar, the locking diffs, even that trail turn assist. We even have the trail control, which is basically cruise control for off-road, so that way you don't have to monitor the gas or the braking. And this is a very, very capable vehicle. I thoroughly enjoyed my time getting to take this off the pavement, and I had a blast with it. On-road performance is really smooth. Since we don't have a solid front axle like the Jeep Competitor, we don't sacrifice any of that on-road performance. So it's just like driving a normal SUV. And just like that, I put the roof panel back on. Probably took around 30 seconds or so. It's really not all that bad. So I like the versatility of being able to have the hardtop. But with the larger engine here, let's give it a little bit of gas. And we are up to speed just like that. Now you can get a smaller engine. I would personally opt for this larger engine just to have a little bit more power, especially with these 35-inch tires. But we're up to speed, and now just cruising with the top on. It's very enjoyable. Even though you can take it off, it really feels pretty insulated. And I like the fact too that we have this extra padding here just to make it a little bit more insulated, keep that wind noise down. And then moving on to the visibility, for the shorter wheelbase here, you pretty much have no blind spots. The rear glass there is very large, so you can look over your left shoulder, look over your right shoulder. All right, so now setting off with the POV angle for the Ford Bronco, you can see what it's like to be behind the wheel. We have that large screen that you can clearly see. And we're gonna go down this road here so that we can check out the turning radius that I was mentioning earlier. But this is a very comfortable SUV to drive. I could see this being a great daily driver just because of how practical it is to drive on the pavement. And then when you want to, you can push a few buttons and take this off-road. You have those different driving modes. But in this cul-de-sac here, with the wheels all the way cranked, hopefully you can get a view at how tight this turning radius is. Just doing a quick donut here. This is very, very tight. So it makes it incredibly maneuverable, which I love to see. So we'll give it one last acceleration for today's video here, just in normal mode. And we are right up to speed. Carries its weight well for weighing around 5,000 pounds or so. But I think that's gonna wrap it up for my walk around review and test drive, getting behind the wheel of this 2-door Ford Bronco First Edition. Once again, huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. That info is down in the description. If you enjoyed today's review, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button if you'd like to stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next video.